Welcome back. Let's see how SuperSave Hardware did on the biz wheel. Mike?
On the marketing side, I've scored you an orange. You're doing some of the basics, a lot of room for improvement. On the sales side, unfortunately, it's a red. Not a lot of effort going in there, not a lot of concentration. But the good thing about all that red is there's lots of space for you to paint some orange and paint some green on.
Sounds good. Thane?
Mageta, I'm so impressed with how far you've progressed with a little bit of savings and lots of Vuma. But embedded in every successful business's DNA is efficient management and cash flow use. Unfortunately, you cannot pay cash for everything, so I'm going to have to give you a red card for that one. On the admin side, the business is growing, but your processes and your systems and your controls aren't keeping pace with your progress. So unfortunately, a second red card for you, sir.
Mageta, what do you make of these results?
Yes, I really appreciate the feedback that I've gotten here, because the whole purpose of the exercise was to really troubleshoot the business. It's not really what I had expected, but I'm receiving it quite well, because I mean, it tells me that there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Okay, so let's see what you need to do to get you to go to green. Okay, so Mike, when I went through to Mageta's business, I nearly drove right past because the location is great visibility, but there has to be something he can do to be noticed.
Andile, the signage is rudimentary to say the least. What's required there is a total revamp on the front. Big signage, and also in each corner of your stand, to have a sign with what time you open, what you stock, telephone number in case I need to reach you. That'll help you stand out tremendously. But it's not just that. As I walked into your store, I noticed something completely different. Stock piled everywhere. We were kind of shuffling through your shop. We need to start moving some of that stock really quickly. And the way to do that is to couple some of that dead stock, some of those lights that aren't moving, couple them with some fast moving items. That'll make a huge difference to your stock movement at the moment.
Mageta, there are very important principles governing cash flow in a business. The important ones that I think you need to take note of is cash flow relating to stock on your shelf. Too much stock on your shelf is like a lot of money piled onto your shelf. So you need to manage your stock better. You need to get rid of the obsolete stock that's been on the shelf for a long time, because actually stock on your shelf is money on your shelf. Another cash flow challenge is created by paying cash for what we call long-term assets. These are assets like plant and equipment and vehicles. Your vehicle was recently stolen and burnt out. And what you had to do is you had to pay cash for that. And by doing that, you actually created a cash flow challenge in your business. Now imagine, Mageta, if you spent a bit of money buying insurance on the vehicle. If you bought insurance on the vehicle, then the money would have been paid to you by the insurance company. You wouldn't have to use your monthly cash flow to pay for that item. So have a look at matching your expenditure with the item that you're buying.
Thane, what about borrowing capital to improve cash flow? Is that a good idea?
I think it's a great idea, Andile. The two issues around borrowing capital is, number one, a lot of us don't have a credit record. Therefore, we can't actually borrow the money. Secondly, we may have a credit record, but it may not be a very good credit record. So you have to correct that. But remember, when we're trying to borrow money, we're actually trying to persuade people to lend us the money in our business. And in order to do that, they have to look at certain things. And the things that they do look at is a credit record. They do look at whether your business is viable. And the way you do that is by providing information as to profitability and to cash flow. By the way, do that on a month-to-month basis and not on a year-to-year basis. So your financial information is very important. And then a business plan helps tremendously, where you set out your sales and marketing strategy, you set out your business's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I also like to have the CV or the curriculum vitae of the business owner as well. And if you put all this together and provide documentation to the funder, for example, you're going to need your ID, you're going to need your proof of address, you're going to need your business documentation. All of these together will help you apply for formal funding.
Of course, there's another way to bring more money into your business. Sell more stuff. And that does not automatically mean that you need more customers. It means that you need the customers that are coming in to buy more from you. So if a customer walks in and, for example, they want to fix a toilet, hand them a piece of paper and on it says Super Savers Tips. And there's instructions on how to fix the toilet, but at the same time, all the things they might need. They might need a float, some plumber's tape, a wrench, anything you can do to get people to buy more from you at that particular time. Another thing you can do is to become the expert in your field. You love teaching, you want to teach people. Start running on a Saturday afternoon little workshops, how to fix a toilet, how to change a globe, how to change a window. Hand out the pieces of paper, become the expert. The community will love you for what you're giving back. And the way to go about advertising it is to have a few templates made. Go and have a few templates, different sizes, different adverts that you can hand out at different times. You can make a huge difference in your own business.
Well, Makgeto's at the stage now where he needs to be formalizing his business. Thane, what are some of the fundamentals of formalizing a business?
I like to refer, Andile, to the 4 legs. The first leg is your staff. Every business needs to have employment contracts if they have staff, as well as a disciplinary and grievance procedure. You need to have this documentation and signage on your walls. Then the second leg, Makgeto, is actually relating to your suppliers. Now, your suppliers, you need to have agreed terms and conditions and have an agreement with them as far as your contract is concerned when you're buying product. The third leg is around your administration. You have to have a formal filing system so you can save time by getting the documentation that you need. And the last leg is about sales. You need to have sales documentation. You need to have a receipt. You need to have delivery notes. You need to have invoices so that when you put all these 4 together, then you have a stable and formalized business.
Yo, Makgeto, there's a lot to think about here. What do you make of it?
It's quite useful, actually.
Well, you sound ready. Thane, here's a question for you, and it comes from Tsekiso Moloi in Sinoville, Pretoria. He owns a business accounting consultancy and loves it. Tsekiso asks, how important is business insurance?
What a good question, Tsekiso. Imagine if you lost some of your equipment or somebody stole your computer. You would lose money, therefore it's a good idea to insure that. But take it a step further. Imagine if you gave somebody incorrect advice and they sued you. You'd also lose a lot of money that way. So insurance covers those issues. But don't only look at insurance, what about assurance? Assurance on your life, so whether you pass away or become disabled, whether that's permanently or temporarily, then your business is also going to suffer. So assurance is a way you can combat that as well. So insurance, but also assurance.
When we come back, we'll meet a man who's been in the hardware business pretty much since the day he was born.